Hello everyone, this is our 10th tutorial under the GCSE topic revision called Completing the Square. Let's look at the exam style question straight away. This is the tutorial you are going to discuss in this video. You can download the tutorial from our website at www.smart-tutors.co.uk/worksheet.php. Under the E11 section, you can download this 10th tutorial. First question. Write x squared plus 10x minus 3 in the form of x plus a all things squared plus b, where a and b are constants need to be found. So the quadratic expression x squared plus 10x minus 3, they ask us to change it to a different format, x plus a whole thing squared plus b. So the way to do is we open the bracket and close bracket and square. If there's a x squared, you write x. The first sign plus means you need to put plus half of the coefficient of the x. So here the coefficient of the x is 10, half of the 10 is 5. So if you expand this one, you get x squared plus 10x plus 25. So we are adding the 25 extra, so I need to take away the 25 from this one. The way to remember is whatever the number here 5, you need to take away, always take away the 5 squared. So 5 squared is 25, take away 25. Minus the question itself has a 3. So the answer is going to be x plus 5 whole thing squared minus 28. So we already found the A answer is going to be 5, comma B answer is minus 28. Second question, x squared minus 8x plus 5. They are asking to convert this into x plus p whole thing squared plus q. So the same method we are going to do. X squared means x minus here this time. So minus half of 8 is 4 whole thing squared. So 16 is going to become, if we expand the brackets, so we need to take away the 16 plus 5. Which is equal to x minus 4 whole thing squared minus 16 plus 5 is minus 11. So p equal minus 4 and q equal minus 11. Question number 3. 2x squared plus 10x plus 5 in the format of a bracket x plus b whole thing squared plus c. So this question is a little bit different than the first two questions. So let me write the quadratic expression. Plus 5, they ask you to convert into a x plus b whole thing squared plus c. First of all, I'm going to take the 2 out of the expression. So it's going to be x squared plus 5x. I'm not going to be taking in 2 from the last number. I'm writing the last number as it is. So the third step, I'm going to keep the 2 and I'm going to open the bracket x plus half of the coefficient of the 5, which is 5 over 2 whole thing squared minus the last number squared. The last number is 5 over 2, so it's 25 over 4, you need to take away, close brackets, plus 5. The next step is I'm going to expand the brackets, which is I'm going to multiply by the 2 here and I'm going to multiply the 2 this number only. So 2x plus 5 over 2 whole thing squared minus 2 times 25 is 50 over 4. So 50 over 4 and plus 5. So 2x plus 5 over 2, I'm treating this question as a non-calculator paper. Still, I haven't used the calculator at all. So sometimes this question may come on the non-calculator paper. So trying to work with a fraction and trying to get some idea. 50 over 4 is minus 25 over 2 plus 5. So the 5 means 5 over 1. So I'm going to be times by top and bottom number by 2. The main purpose is to keep the denominator same. So 2x plus 5 over 2 whole thing squared minus 25 over 2 plus 10 over 2. So minus 25 over 2 plus 10 over 2, which will give the final answer as 2x plus 5 over 2 whole thing squared minus 15 over 2. So now we found the A, which is 2, comma B, which is 5 over 2, C is negative 15 over 2. Now the next question, number 4, the same method I'm going to continue. 3 out of the bracket, which is x squared plus 4x, bracket close, plus 10, which can be written as 3 out of the bracket x plus 2 whole thing squared. Half of the 4 is 2, 2 squared, and I'm going to take away minus 4. The 2 squared need to be take away. Bracket close, and a plus 10 is going to become here. So remember, when you take the 3 out is x squared plus 4x. Then if I put the x squared plus 4x into the completing square bracket, x plus 2 whole thing squared minus 4. Now I'm going to be expand the bracket. So 3 times x plus 2 whole thing squared, 3 times minus 4, which is 12, plus 10. So the final answer is going to be 3x plus 2 whole thing squared minus 2. So now we found the answer. A equal 3, B equal 2, and C equal minus 2. That is our final answer for question number 4. Question number 5. By completing the square, solve x squared plus 8x plus 13 equals 0. Give your answer in surd form. So first of all, I'm going to write the quadratic equation. X squared plus 8x plus 13 equals 0. So bracket start, x plus half of the 8 is 4 whole thing squared minus 4 squared is 16 plus 13 equals 0. So x plus 4 whole thing squared minus 16 with plus 13 is minus 3 equals 0. So x plus 4 whole thing squared minus 3 go other side is 3. X plus 4 equal plus or minus square root of 3. So the answer is x equal, plus 4 is going other side, so minus 4 plus or minus root 3. So that is the answer. So the answer can be x equal minus 4 plus root 3 or minus 4 minus root 3. So two answers possible. Question number 6, x squared minus 4x minus 1 equals 0. So bracket start, x squared means x minus half of 4 is 2 whole thing squared, and you need to take away 2 squared is 4, then minus 1 equals 0. Then x minus 2 whole thing squared minus 5 equals 0. So x minus 2 whole thing squared equal 5. So x minus 2 equal plus or minus root 5. So the x equal minus 2 coming other side is plus 2 plus or minus root 5. So that is the answer for the question number 6. Let's go to the question number 7. 2x squared plus 8x plus 5 equals 0. So solve and give your answer in third format. So I'm going to make the 2 out of the brackets. So x squared plus 4x plus 5 separately equals 0. So 2 x squared is x plus half of 4 is 2 whole thing squared minus 2 squared is 4 bracket close plus 5 equals 0. Going to expand the bracket. So 2x plus 2 whole thing squared, 2 times minus 4 is minus 8 plus 5 equals 0. So 2x plus 2 whole thing squared minus 8 plus 5 is minus 3 equals 0. So 2x plus 2 whole thing squared equal 3. So x plus 2 whole thing squared equal 3 over 2. So this will end up with x plus 2 equal plus or minus square root of 3 over 2. So x equal minus 2 plus or minus square root of 3 over 2. So that is the final answer for the question number 7. Question number 8. By completing the square, solve the quadratic equation. So write the quadratic equation. So 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 equals 0. So I'm going to take the 2 out. X squared is left over minus, when you take the 2 out, so here 5 over 2x is going to be remaining plus 3 equal 0. Now this is a little bit of careful you need to do. 5 over 2x is here. So when we are doing the completing square brackets, x squared will end up with x minus here minus 5 over 2, half of 5 over 2, which is 5 over 4. So careful here, you need to take away 5 over 4 whole thing squared minus whatever the number here, you need to square them and always take away. So 5 over 4 whole thing squared. So 5 over 4 whole thing squared is 25 over 16. So 25 over 16 you need to take away plus 3 equals 0. So 2 times that bracket, so 2x minus 5 over 4 whole thing squared. 2 times minus 25 is minus 50. Minus 50 over 16, I will simplify in the next step, equals 0. So 3 upon 1. So 2x minus 5 over 4 whole thing squared minus 25 over 8 plus 3 upon 1. I'm going to time both sides by 8 top and bottom equals 0. So 2x minus 5 over 4 whole thing squared minus 25 over 8 plus 24 over 8 equals 0. So 2x minus 5 over 4 whole thing squared minus 25 over 8 plus 24 over 8 is minus 1 upon 8 equals 0. So 2x minus 5 over 4 whole thing squared equal 1 upon 8. So I'm going to divide by 2. This 2 is going to be divide the other side. So x minus 5 over 4 whole thing squared equal 1 upon 16. So x minus 5 over 4 equal plus or minus square root of 1 over 16. Square root of 1 over 16 is plus or minus 1 over 4. Square root of 16 is 4. So x equal 5 over 4 plus or minus 1 upon 4. So if you consider plus, x equal 5 over 4 plus 1 over 4 which is 6 over 4. The final answer is 3 over 2. If you consider minus, x equal 5 over 4 minus 1 over 4 equal 4 over 4. The answer is 1. So that is the answer for question number 8. Question number 9. Write x squared plus 6x minus 5 in the form of x plus a whole thing squared plus b, where a and b are constants need to be found. So I'm going to be doing this question x squared plus 6x minus 5, same as what we discussed in the early part of this tutorial. So this is equivalent to x plus a whole thing squared plus b. So how to rearrange this one? Open bracket, x squared mean x, 6 mean half of the 6 is 3, close bracket, squared, 3 means you need to take away, always take away, 3 squared is 9, minus 5 is in the question. That is equivalent to x plus 3 whole thing squared minus 14. So that is the answer, x plus 3 whole thing squared minus 14. Next one, hence write down the minimum value of the graph y equal x squared plus 6x minus 5. So it's a x squared plus x squared graph. It's going to be a happy face graph. So it's a quadratic graph. We call this one as the minimum point. So this is called minimum point. Sometimes it's called as a turning point or stationary point. So how to find out the minimum point coordinate? The graph y equal x squared plus 6x minus 5, it's same as in the part 1. So the part 1, we already convert this into x plus 3 whole thing squared minus 14. So we take this x plus 3 part. So x plus 3 part equate to 0. That gives the x coordinate, x equal minus 3. So the minimum point's coordinate is minus 3, comma, whatever the coming here, minus 14 is going to be our y coordinate. So the minimum point's coordinate is minus 3 minus 14. Last part, using the part A, solve the quadratic equation, answer in the third form. So we already written the x squared plus 6x minus 5. This is the quadratic equation we are going to solve. This can be written as x plus 3 whole thing squared minus 14 equals 0. Now rearrange this one, x plus 3 whole thing squared equal 14. Square root both sides. So x plus 3 equal plus or minus square root of 14. So x equal minus 3 plus or minus root 14. That is the answer for the part C. Question number 10. Write 2x squared plus 6x minus 3 in that completing square format. So let's write the 2x squared plus 6x minus 3. 2 can be taken out. So x squared plus 3x, and the minus 3 is going to be stay separately. So 2 outside, x plus half of 3 is 3 over 2 whole thing squared, take away 3 over 2 squared. So 3 over 2 is squared is 9 over 4 bracket close minus 3. Now I'm going to be expand the entire square brackets by 2. So 2 is going to be multiply the first small bracket, so which is 2x plus 3 over 2 whole thing squared minus 2 times 9 is 18 over 4 minus 3. I'm going to simplify this one, 2x plus 3 over 2 whole thing squared minus 9 over 2 minus 3 upon 1. So to keep the denominator same, so I'm going to multiply by 2 and 2. So the answer will 2x plus 3 over 2 whole thing squared minus 9 over 2 minus 6 over 2. So this can be written as 2x plus 3 over 2 whole thing squared minus 15 over 2. So that is the answer for the part A. Now the graph's minimum point. So this graph is exactly same as the previous graph. Is a happy face graph because 2x squared is a plus 2x squared mean always is a happy face graph. So that graph's minimum point, it's going to be, take the x part, so x plus 3 over 2 equal 0. You will get the x coordinate as minus 3 over 2. So the answer is minus 3 over 2 is the x coordinate and minus 15 over 2 is the y coordinate. So the answer for that question is minus 3 over 2 minus 15 over 2. The last part, solve the equation and give the answer in the third form. So the question is 2x squared plus 6x minus 3 equals 0, which can be written as 2x plus 3 over 2 whole thing squared minus 15 over 2 equals 0. So I'm going to keep the 2x plus 3 over 2 whole thing squared equal 15 over 2. The minus 15 over 2 going other side. Divide by 2. So x plus 3 over 2 whole thing squared equal 15 over 4. Square root both sides. So x plus 3 over 2 equal plus or minus square root of 15 over 4. So square root of 15, we don't know what is that. So plus or minus square root of 15 and square root of 4 is 2. So the x answer is plus 3 over 2 is going to be minus 3 over 2 plus or minus root 15 over 2. So the answer is minus 3 plus or minus root 15 over 2. So the two answers are here, minus 3 plus root 15 over 2 or minus 3 minus root 15 over 2. That is the final answer for the part C. That is the end of our tutorial. If you like to download this tutorial which is discussed in this video, please access our website at www.smarttutor.co.uk/worksheet.php. Under the Year 11 section, you can download this tutorial. If you do like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to see the future upcoming videos. Thank you.